This video is the third and final part of the Deceased saga. The video with the first and second part is linked in the video description. As the aftermath of Captain Atom's catastrophic detonation unfolded, the scale of destruction became heartbreakingly clear. Washington, D.C., Baltimore, and Metropolis, entire cities, were reduced to ashes. Amid the settling dust, a faint glimmer of hope emerged atop the Daily Planet. Using her Green Lantern ring, Dinah Drake had conjured a barrier around the rooftop, shielding the survivors from the blast. Inside the glowing construct, the remnants of humanity huddled together, shaken but alive. From the skies, Superman and Wonder Woman approached, their figures cutting through the lingering haze of destruction. Superman placed his hand gently on the shield, and on the other side, Lois Lane mirrored the motion, her face etched with relief and sorrow. Below, among the rubble, Lex Luthor emerged. He called out to Superman, and Clark turned, his eyes narrowing. "If you want to fight now, Lex," Superman began, his voice heavy with frustration. But Luthor interrupted, raising his hands in surrender. "No more fighting," he said, his voice cracking. Falling to his knees, Luthor stared at the devastation around him and sobbed. "This is beyond any of us now." 1 week later, in the transformed ruins of Gotham City, a lush jungle had overtaken the urban sprawl. Thick vines and towering greenery created an impenetrable fortress. Outside the wall of foliage, Batman, now Damian Wayne, stood with Green Lantern and Green Arrow. As they prepared to enter, an infected Killer Croc lunged at them. But before he could strike, the vines came alive, ensnaring and killing the monstrous figure. The greenery shifted, revealing Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy emerging from the thicket. Harley cocked her head, looking at Damian in the batsuit. "So, why the cape and cowl, kid?" Damian's voice was steady but heavy with emotion. "My father is gone. I've taken up his mantle." The two women exchanged a somber glance, and Ivy offered a quiet nod of respect. After a brief exchange, Damian explained their mission: to establish a sanctuary for survivors within Gotham's jungle. Ivy hesitated. "Harley and I have been debating that idea," she admitted. But after some convincing, she reluctantly agreed. The jungle would become a refuge. Weeks later, the heroes worked tirelessly, dismantling the internet across the globe to prevent further infections. Safe havens sprang up in Gotham, Themyscira, and the Fortress of Solitude, each a beacon of hope for the remaining survivors. Lex Luthor and Cyborg joined forces, building massive arcs to evacuate humanity should the need arise. But Superman remained resolute. "We can't abandon Earth," he insisted. "Not while there's still hope." At the fortress, unease began to grow. Survivors reported a persistent ringing in their ears, a sound that grew louder each day. The tension broke when Luthor was suddenly impaled by an unseen force, collapsing to the ground. The heroes rushed to his side, only to be attacked by an infected Martian manhunter. He moved with terrifying speed, slashing the Flash, Barry Allen, across the back. Chaos erupted as the heroes fought desperately to subdue him. Finally, Firestorm unleashed a fiery blast, reducing Manhunter to ash. But their relief was short-lived. The group turned to see Barry clutching his wound, his body already showing signs of infection. Without a word, he sped away, vanishing into the distance. Determined to stop him, Superman volunteered to chase Barry down. Kid Flash, Wally West, tried to intervene, but Clark was resolute. "This is my responsibility," he said, his voice firm. Superman soared into the skies, scanning the horizon until he found Barry. With a burst of speed, he collided with the infected speedster, shattering him into pieces. Hovering in the aftermath, Superman began to apologize, his voice trembling. But then he noticed two of Barry's fingers embedded in his abdomen. Panic set in as he realized the infection had taken hold. Returning to the fortress, Superman revealed his condition to Wally, showing him the wound. "It's too late for me," he said. "But there's still time for you." With tears in his eyes, he turned to his family, Lois, John, and Martha. "Wally," he said, "take them into the Speed Force. Keep them safe." The farewell was heart-wrenching. Superman embraced his loved ones one last time, whispering words of love and reassurance. Then, with the weight of the world on his shoulders, he flew into space, determined to end his life before the infection consumed him. But the transformation began faster than he anticipated. As his body twisted into the monstrous form of the infected, Superman let out one final anguished cry. Having fully succumbed to the infection, Superman returns to Earth as an unstoppable force of destruction. He descends from the sky like a meteor, colliding directly with the 432 Park Avenue skyscraper in New York City. The impact reduces the building to rubble and chaos engulfs the city. Meanwhile, at the Fortress of Solitude, tension fills the air as the remaining heroes face an urgent dilemma. Cyborg breaks the silence with a harsh truth. If Superman has truly become one of the anti-living, we must evacuate Earth immediately. But Lois Lane counters with a sharp retort. He'll destroy the arcs before we even leave the planet. That's when Wonder Woman makes a bold decision. If we want to survive, we must face him. Damian Wayne, the new Batman, reveals that Bruce left contingencies to deal with Justice League members, including Superman. He explains there are plans to create a kryptonite gas, but Wonder Woman dismisses the idea. That will only slow him down. We need something final. She proposes forging a unique weapon, a sword that combines kryptonite and magic, Superman's two greatest weaknesses. Cyborg and Green Lantern, Dinah Drake, stay behind to help her while the other heroes focus on evacuating the survivors. One arc is sent to Themyscira, and another to the Gotham jungle. In the Gotham jungle, Damian and Flash oversee the evacuation of over 6 million survivors. Before the arc departs, Poison Ivy refuses to leave. "I can't abandon the Green," she declares. Harley Quinn decides to stay with her, embracing Ivy. Together, they watch as the arc ascends to safety. At Themyscira, chaos erupts as the evacuation is interrupted by a fierce storm approaching from the sea. The infected Aquaman leads an army of Atlanteans, riding the monstrous Kraken. Queen Mara shouts orders. Move the survivors to higher ground. The Amazon warriors, led by Hippolyta, Antiope and Wonder Girl, clash with the Atlantean horde. Amid the chaos, Green Arrow showcases his legendary precision, killing Aquaman with a single arrow to the head. Despite their valiant efforts, the battle is devastating. Antiope and many Amazons fall. Hippolyta entrusts Wonder Girl with Themyscira's legacy, refusing to leave herself. The final arc departs as the remaining Amazons stay behind to secure the escape. Back in New York, Wonder Woman, Cyborg and Green Lantern confront Superman. The city lies in ruins, obliterated by his rampage. Confirming that no survivors remain, Dinah unleashes a powerful canary cry, amplified by a megaphone construct. But Superman is relentless. He charges through the sonic blast, forcing Cyborg to fire his blaster. Seizing the moment, Wonder Woman strikes with the kryptonite sword, severing Superman's arm and impaling him. Yet he fights on. Delivering a fatal blow, Superman pierces Wonder Woman's abdomen, infecting her in the process. As she falls, mortally wounded, Superman escapes into space, heading for the arcs. With her dying breath, Wonder Woman hands the kryptonite sword to Dinah, urging, "Stop him, no matter the cost." Cyborg stays behind, consumed by guilt for starting the pandemic, while Dinah sets off to continue the fight. On the arcs, John Kent uses his supervision to watch the battle and realizes his father is coming. Turning to Damian, he speaks with determination. "Take care of my mom. You'll be a great Batman." John flies out to confront his father, colliding with him at high speed. The impact stuns Superman and buys the Ark's precious time, but it leaves John injured, his arm broken. Dinah arrives to face Superman once more, but unexpected reinforcements arrive, the entire Green Lantern Corps. Ganthet explains that the Guardians have quarantined Earth's sector due to the pandemic. Superman, however, does the unthinkable. He flies directly into the sun, diving into its core. Ganthet quickly realizes the anti-life equation's plan, to use Superman to drain the sun's energy, plunging the solar system into eternal darkness. With no way to stop him, Ganthet declares the system lost and orders the Arks to proceed to a new home. Back on Earth, Cyborg, now alone with an infected Wonder Woman, interrogates her using the lasso of truth. He demands to know if there's a cure for the infection. Possessed by the anti-life equation, Diana responds, "The cure is within you." She explains that, as both man and machine, Cyborg is the key to the cure. The virus, like him, is a binary construct. Horrified, Cyborg tries to contact the Arks, but he lets his guard down. Diana breaks free, tearing off his head and throwing it into a ravine. The anti-life equation, through her, coldly muses, "Life is fleeting but death is forever." Finally, the Arks arrive at their destination, Earth 2. Lois, John, Damian, and the other survivors gaze upon their new home, filled with hope. After all the loss and devastation, they finally have a chance to rebuild and begin anew. If you enjoyed this epic showdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. I see you in the next video.